You sound
honestly,
so much better.
everyone today was like, "You sound like a man." I was like, "Thanks."
What's with the neighbors? 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 What's with the neighbors?
You sound a lot better than you did yesterday.
Thank you. I was like thinking to myself, like, I thought that I sounded like a sexy phone worker, but
Yeah.
apparently I sound like a man.
You're
Rude.
like Phoebe in the episode of Friends where she gets sick
Yes.
and she sings Smelly Cat, and then she loses her cold and she realizes people liked her song because she was sick. And so she
Yeah.
tries to get sick again.
The raspy, low voice. No, apparently it's just a man.
Sticky shoes. Oh no,
Rude.
it wasn't Smelly Cat. It was Sticky Shoes. Sorry.
Stinky shoes. This is a hometown horror episode, everybody.
Woo! Hometown horrors.
Hometown
We're finally
horrors.
here. We were supposed to have one last month, but we've had so much going on, and
Yeah.
we're sorry. So is America. So is the world. So we're not even going to talk about life, but
Yeah.
yeah,
We've been on the struggle bus for a while, but I think it's okay. I think it's
yeah,
okay that we're on the struggle bus.
yeah,
And no episode last week because I'm sick still, so that's cool.
yeah. Amy sounded like
Mm,
death last week. It
yes,
was
I did.
bad.
I would have been actually a really great episode if you think about it. Death making an appearance on the
You probably would have
episode
been
on the
hacking
podcast.
every time, though. You probably would have had to drink so
Probably.
much water.
And you would have like had to do all those sniffles, like cut out all the
Oh my
sniffles and
gosh. And yeah, it's
nah,
good.
not
It's
worth
good.
it. Not worth it.
I have a question for you,
Oh, good. Okay.
and you may have not thought of your answer.
Oh no, I didn't.
Do you want me to wait for next week to ask you?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to think of one because literally we record and then I put it out of my brain until I like listen to the episode.
I only thought of it because I have a funny for instance. So my question for you was going to be for Amy was going to be have you think of a time recently where you've kind of like said something and realized that's not appropriate for the situation, or foot in mouth, or just like, why did I just say that out loud? And if you can't think of anything, this,
Do you
so
have one for me?
yeah.
Okay, can you please
So
share? I get so embarrassed that like I put those out of my brain, like I pretend they didn't happen.
I say everything. I don't know why. It's like the minute I turn 30, I just like word vomit all the time. But we
You're
got
not
into
30.
yeah, I am.
No, you're like 25.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
I
And you're
literally
like
can
30.
I I literally do not see you
But
as a
you'd be 29.
30-year-old.
I don't see myself as a 30-year-old either.
Like
I
I
had
forget that you're 30.
I do too. I had a friend, I meet a new friend recently. Well, not really a new
Mhm.
friend, but like, and I asked her how old she
Acquaintance.
was today, and she said she was 29, and I was like, "Oh, okay, we're like the same age." And I was like, "Wait, wait, I mean, we're kind of like the same age, but like I'm 30." And I was like, "That's weird. I'm not I'm not 30." Anyway,
No, you're not.
yeah, it's weird. Yeah. Yep. And you're not Amy. Anyway, I'm not
No,
going to
I'm not.
disclose your age.
I'm a man.
A skinwalker.
I'm Smamey.
I was trying to think of a man name for Amy.
I think it's Andrew.
Andrew. Okay.
No, I don't like that. I don't want to be Andy.
Yeah. Andy Day was 2 days ago, so
Yeah.
you missed that.
Okay, so what is your
Okay.
answer?
So, as you know, I got into a little bit of a car accident a couple weeks ago, and just now, because like we filed it through the other people's insurance because it was their fault. And so just now my insurance calls and like follows up with me and they're like, "Hey, like we saw that there was a claim and like we want to know what happened and can you give us like a play-by-play?" So I give them the play-by-play and they're asking me all these questions. They're like, "Okay, well, who was driving? Who's in what seat? And who was with you? Whatever, blah, blah, blah." They're like, "Did you
Yeah.
have your seatbelts on?" And I was like, "Oh my God, yes, of course." I was like, "Seatbelts save lives." And he's like, "Yes, they do." And I was like, "Unless you crash into a body of water and then you drown." And he's just like quiet. And I'm just like, yeah, sometimes too many things that I say are just, sometimes too much is just too much. Just should stop sometimes. Sometimes
That's so embarrassing, Brie.
I know, sometimes people just don't have dark humor. Or they just don't know that I'm joking. And this is why Josh hates going places with me because I end up saying shit like this. And he's just like, "Oh my God, shut up, woman."
So it wasn't on the podcast, but something did happen to me that was just like that today. There's a community service officer that came by to pick up stuff today at work, and she was talking to me, and she was like, yeah, I'm not allowed up in Lakehead, but I'm going up there anyways because I have to take this call, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh no, I hope that you don't go up there and die. And she was like, why would you say that? I was like, I don't know why that came out of my mouth. She was like, okay, I'm leaving now. I was like, okay, bye. It's like why do we
See? Exactly that. Thank you. I'm
You're
glad that
welcome.
I gave you an example. Hope you don't die.
Hope you don't die.
Don't get dead.
Oh my gosh. The question you asked me was, you said on like for the the question was for the podcast. I was
Yeah.
thinking you were saying the way I read it was
Something that happened on the show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. I meant like it was for, I wanted to ask you a question.
Nope. I say that stuff
Do a little
all the
switcheroo.
time.
Yep. I know. And that's why whenever you were like, I can't think of anything. And I was like,
all day long.
Crying and upset, or just upset, not crying, but like upset and embarrassed with yourself and like, why did I do that? Why did I say that?
All day long. All day long.
Yep, me too. Yay.
That's why I was like, I don't remember. As soon as we record, it goes out of my brain.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I know that is a little switcheroo, but I remember writing this question now and I was like, oh, I do want to ask this one. So, how do you think you would react if after being married to someone for 18 years, you find out that your spouse had a family previously to you and the family he created with you? Like, you've been married to this guy for 18 years and you have this life and this family with him. And then after 18 years, you realize that he had a family before you and he murdered them like before you guys got together.
Okay. Oh my God. This is like a great question. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because I'm done with them now officially, but I just listened to all of the You series.
Yeah.
The books with like Joe, what the is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Joe Goldberg.
I wanted to say Gallagher, but I knew it was wrong.
that is what I think of is like, because one of the characters, one of the girls that he dates, he tells them everything and they're cool with it.
What?
Now, would I be cool with it? Hell no. I would report his ass. I would go and report his ass because, like, who's to say that he's not going to do it again? The pattern
but he's
continues.
been with you 18 years though.
It's one little slip up. Who's to say how long he was with the previous one?
A little bit long.
Yeah. Yep. I loved. Oh my God! If you guys have not read the books and you just watch the go screw the show. I haven't watched the show in like 2 seasons, which I do need to watch it. But go and read the series, and I'm pretty sure there has to be a 5th book coming because she leaves it hanging on the 4th book. It is so good, and it, like, kinda puts you in the mind of this, like, crazy, obsessed, like, serial killer guy who thinks that he is never in the wrong, and everything that he does, he's, like, a good guy for it. And it's just why I mean, it's obviously like the show, but, like, it's not like the show. The only one that's actually similar that goes with the season is the 1st book, and that's with Beck, Guinevere Beck, and then the rest of them, it's, like, completely different than the show, and it's really good. You would
Okay.
love them,
I
Amy.
do. I
They're
want to listen
so
to them.
good. I wanna
Yeah.
re-listen to them because 'cause they're really good, and I'm mad that I'm done with them now.
Oh, I hate when that happens,
Yeah,
though.
especially since it left me hanging, and I don't know if there's gonna be a 5th book or not.
Oh.
But anyway, yes, no, I would turn their ass in because I don't wanna be the next, family to
Would you be conflicted at all?
For sure. Because he'd be like the love of my life and, like, the
The
father of
father
my
to your
children.
children?
Of course, and I wouldn't wanna do that, but I'd be like, "Look, I love you, but, I just turned your ass into the police, and they're coming right now, so
Womp womp.
sorry, you shouldn't have done that because your last family were good people."
What if they weren't? You don't
If
know.
they weren't good people, then yeah, but he killed children.
That's true.
Children they have the right of way,
That's true.
like when crossing a road.
Okay, that's not
I don't
similar,
know.
but all right. The children have the right of way, like crossing crossing a what'd you say? A road?
Like crossing the road.
Oh my gosh, Brie.
I don't know. Oh,
Oh.
one more thing. Shout out to our new listener, Mallory, who and also she had a strange experience in our last episode. Thank you for listening. And I hope the show does not freak you out anymore and give you strange experiences like sleep paralysis.
And you should also send that story in to us because that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yep, that's all I'm gonna say about it, because that's pretty much all I have on it.
Okay. So here's my first story.
I have a neighborhood story.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Okay.
That's okay.
So neighborhood story is very short. I believe it's a Facebook post, and it says, "Is anyone spending Thanksgiving alone? I need to borrow chairs. Thanks in advance." In the
Not
comments said,
inviting them.
"What? Wow."
Hey, since you're not using those chairs, can I borrow them?
Can I just have your chairs?
And you're also not invited to my
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Rude.
Okay, so thank you. That was hilarious. I absolutely love that. Okay, so here's my first story. It says in 2006, Abraham Shakespeare bought a lotto ticket in Florida and won $30 million jackpot.
Damn. Okay.
At first, he was very generous with his friends and family, but soon started to feel like he was being taken advantage of. A woman named Dee Dee Moore offered to help him manage his money. She wound up swindling him into giving her control over all of his assets. After a few weeks of not hearing from Shakespeare, his family grew concerned and attempted to reach him. But Dee Dee Moore forged a letter to his family reassuring them that he was okay. The problem was that Dee Dee Moore didn't know that Abraham Shakespeare was illiterate, so he couldn't write.
Okay.
So the police were notified and they found his body buried on her property. That's so embarrassing.
Was his real name William Shakespeare or Abraham Shakespeare?
Abraham Shakespeare.
They gave him that name and he's illiterate? Dude,
Womp womp.
that is
That's so embarrassing.
that is.
And he died.
Oh.
But also, like, don't just let some random person be in control of your assets.
Yeah.
Not
Also
victim
hire a
blaming.
lawyer right away whenever
That's the
you win
first
the
thing.
lottery.
You're supposed
Hire
to
a
do
lawyer.
that.
Yep. Be smart.
Even before you claim it. That's what you're
Yep.
supposed to do.
Yep. All right, dude. This one, womp womp. I think it's from
No.
Reddit or no, I don't know. Says, this is a weird post, but I'm fairly sure my house is haunted and I wanted to see about others having similar experiences. This house was built in 1954 and I moved in about 2.5 years ago. I live alone with my dog. Things started happening within a few weeks of moving in, lights turning on and off, doors closing on their own, etc. One night, I was sitting at the kitchen island eating dinner and a hand grabbed my torso. I also randomly smell cigarette smoke and strong perfume from time to time. My guest bedroom is carpeted, and you can easily see if someone was walking across the carpet, but often the blinds will be randomly opened after I've already closed them, with no visible footprints on the carpet. My mom came to visit and said that she was getting ready in the morning when someone loudly said her name. My best friend was getting ready one morning in the same bathroom, and he said he backed up into a person, but nobody was there.
What?
They each told me this on their own. I'd never mentioned that I thought the house was haunted to them. Today, my AirPods case randomly flew off the kitchen counter. I know this sounds kind of ridiculous, but I really think this place is haunted. I'm wondering if anyone has experienced something similar or how they live with it. I don't feel threatened or unsafe, but it's just weird. And this is from a UJ Humph 88.
Nah, mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Yeah. It's completely not normal.
Nope.
You're
Mm-mm.
definitely being haunted,
Yep.
and you might want to get the Apple plan on those AirPods.
I really am worried about the person that got backed up into somebody and nobody was there. That stresses me out.
I think the carpet is the freaks me out. Like you see,
Yeah.
like the footprints in the carpet.
Yeah, that
That weirds me
would
out.
freak me out.
Nope.
I don't like that. Okay, so this one says John List. That's his name, John List.
Wow,
John
some
List.
great names.
Yeah, sorry. John List killed his 3 kids, wife, and mother in 1971 inside their New Jersey mansion. The family was a bit reluctant. The family was a bit reclusive, and John had skipped town following his crimes, so the bodies weren't discovered until a month later. John disappeared for 18 years and remarried, but he was finally captured with the help of an episode of America's Most Wanted. He claimed that he killed his family because they were under crushing debt from the house and medical expenses. A psychiatrist who testified in the trial said that John saw only 2 choices: go on welfare or send his family to heaven. I don't know. One is lesser of the 2 evils. Just
Oh
tad.
my God, is my husband gonna do that to me?
Oh my God. You need to make sure that get
We
out.
broke.
Get out. We broke.
Please donate to Patreon.
It was later discovered that very house that burdened John had a skylight that was rumored to be the original from Tiffany worth more than enough to make up for the financial strains. So there was a skylight in that house that
Right.
he lived in with his family, and it was from Tiffany and Company.
Yeah.
If he had just sold that skylight, he would have been fine with all of his expenses.
Dude, Tiffany's stuff is worth a lot of money, especially
I
like
know.
old stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's unclear if John knew of the near priceless treasure, but he died serving 5 consecutive life sentences without parole in 2008.
Well, you should have murdered your family there, Mr. List. Yeah, not
I would
cool.
be so mad. And they'd be like, I don't know why he didn't just sell the skylight he
Yeah.
had in his. I found out about that like after murdering my family. I'd be like, are you freaking kidding me? Are
I
you
did that for
freaking
no
kidding me?
reason.
I did it for no reason. Why did I do that? Why did I look up at the skylight?
God, I miss her
She
apple
always
pie.
she's always complaining about the skylight and how she hated all the sun that came in. I should have just removed it.
Come on,
If I
John
just
List.
listened to my wife. If I
Yep.
just listened to my wife.
There's a reason why we nag.
Yep. We know
There's a
things.
reason. Yep, we do. We don't even know that we know things, but sometimes we just do.
She's like, there's always money in the skylight. And he's like, what?
You're crazy.
There's
Saying these
no money in
cryptic
the
things.
skylight. Yeah, what?
Ugh.
Ugh.
All right. I've encountered a brown Yeti during a camping trip one summer in California. My friend and I were camping in Strawberry Pass with our dogs for 3 days. Late that night, we heard loud footsteps and a bellowing roar. We decided to douse the fire when the dogs growled. The sounds came from across the river, and we noticed the growling stopped. The next night, we lit a fire again, and the roars returned. The dogs went berserk, and they spelled berserk wrong, and my friend and I saw a huge brown creature about 7.5 feet tall. It leapt across the river and landed on a tree, swinging around like the tree was a pole. It
Oh.
roared at us again and kicked at the fire, sending the firewood and stone flying into the river. It punched the fire pit and picked up one large stone with its black hand and threw that into the river too. It then walked away out of sight. We changed our underwear, grabbed our chihuahua
Oh.
and wiener dog, packed up, and left. Now I know that Yeti eyes are sensitive to fire and that their size doesn't count for their agility level. They can move weightlessly regardless of their size and strength. And that's it. Apparently someone may have saw a Yeti.
I thought that Yeti was white.
The snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. So I was thinking of the Yeti from like maybe they just misnamed it. But I mean, like Yeti, Bigfoot, they're all kind of the same. It just depends on where they're
Kind
at.
of.
But that one said California, so I would think that'd be more like a
Sasquatch.
Bigfoot. Yeah,
Yeah. Because we're known for Sasquatch.
a real
here in
sassy
Florida.
squash,
A real
throwing things and punching the fire pit.
Do you think it hurt when it punched the fire pit? Like it hurt the fire?
I thought you were about to say some really lame pickup line. Do you think it hurt when he fell from heaven?
So silly. Okay, so Texas college student Angela Samotas was raped and stabbed to death in her apartment in 1984. We're just getting
Wow,
right into
that
it.
just
Okay?
started right. Yeah.
So, her case went cold until her friend and roommate Sheila Wysocki decided that was unacceptable.
I
Good
would
for her
like to.
friends.
I would like you to applaud Amy. That sounded like a really tough name to pronounce, and you like
Yeah.
just drove right on through that.
Thank you.
That was really
Thank you,
good.
Brie.
I would have
Thank you,
that up.
Brie.
Good job,
And
buddy.
I
You're
didn't
welcome.
even type out how to pronounce it like I normally do. So while watching the O.J. Simpson trial, a decade after Angela's death, talk of using DNA samples caught her friend's attention. Knowing that there was blood and semen collected from the crime scene, her friend Sheila called police, insistently asking them to take another look at her friend's case. She got nowhere and decided to get her own private investigation license so she could gain access to the samples herself. And Sheila finally convinced the police to reopen the case. It took 2 years to process the DNA, but in the end, it matched with Donald Bess, a convicted rapist who was found guilty and sentenced to death. And that friend is still working as a private investigator.
Oh
And
wow!
girl, if that ever happened to you, I would get my private investigation license just so I could be like, you know what, y'all aren't doing this fast enough. I will just go ahead and figure out
She
this
had her
crime.
friend's back.
Yeah, she did.
She ain't playing around.
She's
She's a
like,
good friend right
"Mm-mm,
there.
I need to find this person."
You know, you would have a true crime episode about it and be like spreading the word.
Yeah,
What happened
first
to Bree?
that'd be the very first thing I do. I would sit down, write an episode out, and be like, "All right, now I got to record this." And then I'd be like, "Shoot, dang, I don't have anyone else to record it with." So I would have to bring in a new friend, and then that new friend would. I'm just kidding.
You're replacing me already.
Sorry, it's in my.
Ouch.
I'm just kidding. I could never. Like,
It's good.
this
It's
is
fine.
what's with the what's the opposite of neighbors? What's with the
Roommate.
what's with the roommate? Ooh, and then it turns out to be Josh because he's your roommate.
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, the turntables.
Oh, the turntables.
All right. Back in October 2005, when I was 15, my family and I were living in an apartment above an Esso gas station in Bostrac, Norway. One night, I had a very lucid dream of a little blonde boy, probably aged 8 or 9, crying in our living room. He was wearing a striped t-shirt with a silver star printed in the middle of his chest. When he saw me, he spoke in Swedish. I'm Norwegian, so I understood what he was saying, especially bus accident. He kept pointing down to the Esso station. I woke up. It was October 31st. Convinced a bus was going to crash into the station, I told my mom and dad everything about the dream, and my dad told me to get a grip. Nightmares happen. That didn't stop my high anxiety. Every bus that stopped to deliver packages, I was sure would crash. Nothing happened. But that evening, my siblings and I went down to the station to buy snacks for a horror movie marathon. And I saw a newspaper headline, Bus Accident in Tenerife. It had a picture of a bus in front of a Shell gas station. Naturally, I bought it because it was a Swedish tourist bus that went off the road in Tenerife, not too far from the airport there, with 28 people on board. A Norwegian tourist leader died. Front and center in the article was a picture of two blonde boys crying in the aftermath of the accident. One of them was young, aged 8 or 9, in a striped t-shirt with a star with a star print in the middle. He survived. I don't believe in psychic, medium, witches, or anything paranormal, but I still have the paper to remind myself I don't know shit. How can a little boy appear in my dream of mine, a stranger, to warn of an accident happening as it was happening on October 30th, 2005? I haven't had anything like that ever happen to me again, and I still can't explain it.
That's crazy.
And that's weird.
That is weird.
That's one of those chills moments.
I would be so spooked out. I'd be like,
Yeah.
don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't know
I
how
would
I'd
too
handle
keep
my
the
life.
newspaper though. I'd be like,
I
dude,
would
I
too.
can saw this coming. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yep.
Okay. So, here's my last one. In Britain in 1968,
Britain?
11
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You said it like Canadian.
Did I?
Because in the new Deadpool, they have nice Deadpool. And he keeps on accidentally letting his dog go. And he keeps on running up and saying, sorry. He's got a Canadian accident.
Do you think he has a Canadian accident? A Canadian accident? He doesn't have a Canadian accent.
No, but he's from Canada, and he probably can do a pretty good Canadian accent.
I feel like Canadians don't really have an accent. I keep so wanting to say accident on accident.
Maybe an accident's going to happen right now.
Don't say that. I live on a very busy street.
Oh, God, you too.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Ugh.
Unjinx.
Get out of here. Get out of here,
Salt.
bad thoughts.
Intrusive
Assault. Assault.
Assault.
So in Britain in 1968, 11-year-old Mary Bell strangled 2 young boys in the span of 2 months. Can you
What?
imagine Alice doing that? Like, she's 11.
Shit.
Yeah. So, Mary Bell came from a broken home with a teenage sex worker for a mom and an active criminal for a father. When she and her accomplice, Norma Bell, absolutely no relation, were arrested by police not long after the second murder, Mary reportedly replied, "That's all right by me." During the trial, Norma appeared distraught. Mary, on the other hand, was said to be defiant, showing zero remorse. The court psychiatrist described her as an intelligent, manipulative, and dangerous. Norma was found not guilty, which is wild.
Yeah.
While Mary was found guilty of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. She served 12 years, briefly escaping prison at one point, and was granted anonymity. And she was granted amenity and a new name upon her release. And she gave birth to a daughter, and it was reported that in 2009 that she had become a grandmother.
That
She
is wild.
only served 12 years for killing 2 boys, and she escaped prison at one point. And then they're like, you know what? You can get out. We'll give you a new name too. No big deal. Excuse me?
They're like, you need a second chance. Oh.
Clearly she had a second chance and she did right by it.
Yep.
That's so
That's not-
embarrassing.
But she was a kid. That's all. That's rough.
No. If my kid, I know, because like
I know, but like if it, it's hard to think of because like look at how she was like.
yeah, she had a
environment that she grew
bad
up in.
life. Yeah.
I mean, not that that's like an excuse to like turn out bad
No.
because everybody's got childhood trauma and shit that they deal with, but like that's some serious trauma.
That's like I feel like at that point, like you're 11, you made really bad choices, but like maybe they should keep her like an eye on her for like a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, let's go check in on Mary.
How's Mary Bell?
Let's have some tea with Mary this Sunday.
Yeah, you know.
Check in on her, make sure she's not killed any more 11-year-olds.
We could only hope.
All right. I believe this one was from Reddit. Here's my last one.
Okay.
It says, and it was titled, "People who have used a Ouija board. What's the scariest response you've gotten?" So this response was from 3 years ago, and it says, "The first and only time I ever used one, I was a teenager playing on it with a friend on my back porch. I didn't know of anyone who had died really, except I remembered from an old photo on the wall a great aunt called Aunt Neil. The name Neil stuck with me because it was a boy's name. So I tried to talk to Great Aunt Neil. But when I speak, I say without hesitation or control, Aunt Connie. I thought, that's weird. I don't have an Aunt Connie. I try again and say, I'm trying to speak with, and mentally saying the word Neil, I say Aunt Connie. It was an involuntary response. Very weird, but we moved on and kept playing. When my mom got home from running errands, she asked how our game was going. How was your game, sweetie? Did you summon any spirits tonight?
She had no idea. She's like, this is a stupid game you guys are playing.
And I replied, it's fine, except kept trying to talk to Great Aunt Neil. The mom fucking knew they were playing with the Ouija board.
She's
We're
like,
trying to summon.
who is it that owns it? Not Warner Brothers.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Hasbro.
Hasbro, okay. She's like, Hasbro owns this. It can't be anything serious.
It's fine. They also make
That's
Twister.
hungry hippos.
Yeah. It's cute. I got some sage for you too, by the way. Biggie.
Oh my gosh.
She asked how our game was going, and I replied, it's fine, except I kept trying to talk to Aunt Neil, but kept saying Aunt Connie, which is so weird because I don't have an Aunt Connie. I still remember my mom's face in that moment. It turns out I did have an Aunt Connie. She was a baby who died of SIDS decades before I was born. My mom almost named me after her.
Oh
I
my
went to
gosh.
have extreme paranormal experiences that continued to this day. I think it opened a door that I haven't been able to close. The scariest things that have ever happened to me were from when I was a moody 15 to 18-year-old girl that seemed to really energize my surroundings, and lots of scary things happen. I saw people, heard my name whispered in my ear at night multiple times, heard footsteps daily, and heard my voice mimic my father's name and walked around the kitchen. That one convinced me that we were broken into, and I stayed outside until my boyfriend came to get me. Of course, nobody there. My brother moved back into the family house after college and confirmed that he also heard a voice mimic our father's and walked around the kitchen. He didn't offer this info. I had to pull it out of him over dinner years later. We independently experienced this and didn't even know it. In college, I saw a girl standing over my roommate's bed in the middle of the night. I woke up the next day and was like, hey, who was that? Roomie was like, oh, hell no. She and I still talk about it today.
She's like, I need a new roommate.
We were on a sorority hall at that time, so I dismissed it initially. It only hit me later that I didn't recognize her or see her legs.
Ew.
The other weirdest thing in college was someone kept getting into bed next to me. Never touched me, but the mattress went down with their weight. That one really spooked me.
Yeah.
And that's all I got. I guess that all started with the Ouija board.
Ma'am, you gotta close that Ouija board out when
Yep.
you're done with it.
Just shouldn't play with. I would go play with
Don't
another
play with
Ouija
it.
board.
No, you won't.
Not
I
on
won't
my
let
not
you.
at my house.
At someone else's house.
At my dad's house.
You know, I will watch through a screen you play with a Ouija board
You would?
while I'm in another state.
That would be cool.
After it happened. Like, it would be a recording.
This is the video of how Bree died. The evidence,
this is-
basically.
Bree, this is what we're talking about, where we don't filter what we're... Normal people don't say that stuff.
I just think of Flynn Rider in the beginning of Rapunzel. This is how I died.
Oh my gosh. Oh, they never can get the nose right.
I love that movie.
Okay, so this is my neighborhood story, and it's from The Bump, which is like you know what The Bump is? It's like a website. No, not the snow, not the nose.
Yeah, I know what
bump.
the bump is. I see bump all the time.
Yeah, it's like, for those that don't know, it's like a pregnancy.
Double dandruff?
Yes,
Snow
it's
angels?
like a. Stop it. It's like a pregnancy type of website, and people can like post on it and stuff. So it says, it's like a post, like someone commented on a blog on this website. It says, our current neighbor has called the cops on us because when we water our lawn, sometimes the water from the sprinklers will accidentally go over the fence and hit his car with the water.
That is not a reason to call the cops.
That is such a waste of time.
Like, go and tell the neighbor.
Like, hey, can you not? Because like it probably leaves like water spots
Yeah, I
on my
get that because
car.
like calcium like could be in like the water and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, water spots. But like
We don't call the cops for that
seriously,
reason.
you're wasting cops' time. They could be saving someone's life. Instead, they're dealing with your whiny little pissy baby neighborhood
Mhm.
dispute. Get
Mhm.
over your life.
Get over your life.
Let the cops do
Nobody,
their job.
you're not worth that. You're not worth nobody's time.
Cops save lives. They don't turn off sprinklers. Stupid.
Stupid. Anyways, wow.
They save lives, not water.
Not water. No, I actually also conserve water because we are like,
Yeah,
we
shower
love the
together.
earth.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So we're gonna get. Have you checked in on the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
Bree and Amy.
Bree and Amy out.
Out.
Psh.
Say hi to your cats for us. Wilson, come here. I want you to meow for us. Wilson.
Don't do drugs. And don't
Don't do
get dead.
drugs.
Stay in school.